million people around the world. Good evening. My name's Kirk. This is my spiritual, supernatural, mystical, and magical TV show. And we are going live out to over 9 million people on computer laptops. Live, New York City here in Studio 4 with Jen and JensTarot on channel 1993, 1997. We're here every Monday, mystical, magical, metaphysical Monday. And every once in a while, we set up special guest interviews. And tonight, I'm really honored to have made the acquaintance with Jen of JensTarot about 2 months ago. And we've been talking, and I was fortunate enough that Jen came into the city a couple days early. I was able to experience a first-hand reading myself. Okay, it's definitely 2 shaman thumbs up. Shakti, namaste. I'd like to welcome Jen to the planet and the world, although she's given hundreds of readings already. She's loved and adored by her clients. And you know what? I'm just gonna toss the ball right over here. Jen.
Hi. Thank
Shakti, namaste. What do you want us to know? What do you want to say? Style. You want to change the image of the tarot readers.
Yes.
You have a very specific, very personable style.
Yes.
All of the above? Go ahead. Take it away.
You know, like tarot, right now I feel like people think of tarot reading and, you know, they think of, you know, the old cat lady that just sits around a crystal ball and never leaves her house. And, you know, it's very, you know, gypsy style and stereotypical. And so I'm really trying to break the mold and break that stereotype and reach, you know, different audiences, target different, you know, demographics, and show that, you know, you can be a tarot reader and a good reader and still be young, fresh, fun, and sexy, you know. That's one of the reasons my clients love me. You know, they can really relate. I'm down to earth, and they can just connect, you know. They have that connection rather than it just being stiff and boring, you know. Okay,
Jen. I know a lot of readers that give general readings. I give past life and oracle readings. Mm-hmm. Tell us about your specialty. What kind of client comes to you? Why do they come to you in a general sense? Talk a little bit about that.
Well, right now I am on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, and my general public readings for free on YouTube are mainly just love readings, you know. I get into all kinds of readings. My readings typically, if you're a private client of mine, they're based on, you know, soul lessons. They can go very deep. They can be about any subject, but I just really feel like tarot is here for a reason. And if you want a tarot reading, it's because you're going through something, how big or how small, but there's always a reason you're going through it. So tarot is a tool to really know and be prepared for what's coming. And I can help you in any area of that of your life. Okay,
Jen. So you do the tarot reading, and what's your deck that you prefer?
Oh wow, my favorite is the Thelema deck. I'm super connected to that one. But I have 5 decks, and all of my decks, I have 2 oracle decks and 5 tarot decks. I just bought the steampunk today, actually, and I haven't used it yet, but.
Okay, so you know what else? When you were reading for me, a very specific reading style with the way you shuffled the cards, and also the way you lay them out. Now, is that kind of like a standard thing for every client, or do you kind of feel your way into it? And, you know, I noticed that you were like, you really gave me a lot of spiritual advisement, not just... like, it was really an expanded reading.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So, well, first, the way I shuffle is a lot of readers ask questions, and I don't necessarily do that. I shuffle, and I just focus on your energies, and I let them all, you know, come out. It's going to tell me what you're going through and what's going to happen either way, and then I'll go into details and ask questions. But, you know, I've created a spread, actually, and that's the spread that I used for you. It's called The Blind Side, and...
Tell us about that. That was really interesting. You know, and as my audience knows, I've been reading, studying, and even teaching professionally now for over 20 years. So, you know, to get this reading was very impressive. It was very fresh. It was very new. It was a lot of stuff I hadn't seen. Take it away, Jen.
Oh, thank you for that. Well, you know, I used 3 different decks in the Reading the Blind side, and it's because each tarot deck has a different card, different meaning to each card, even though it's all the same universally. But what I do is I want to see if any repeating cards come out, the placements of if it's what Spirit sees.
Okay, so wait a minute. Just explain to the person watching. We had 3, 3, and 3 cards on my
9-card
reading.
Spread. Yes.
So it was a 9-card spread, and you know this is something I never heard somebody say, but you were like, higher arcana is soul lessons. Let's talk about that for a little bit, because that really gets into like a deeper thing.
Major arcana is, especially when you have a lot of them, it's always a soul lesson. Any problem or issue you have with the tarot reading, there's always a reason. You know, if you have the Tower, which is a really, you know, bad card in a tarot reading, you know, it's your foundation being rocked, and the Tower is not going to come down on you. Spirit's not going to do that for no reason. It's always for your higher good. So, you know, there's always reasons for a tarot reading. There's always things that you need to improve or change or look at within yourself. I use my readings to empower people. You know, all of my clients, I've had emails saying, you've walked with me through the valley of the shadow of the dark. You know,
let me just interrupt and to clarify. What is the average time a person should return to you? Roughly, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would generally say I'll do, you know, once a month readings, and that's really only if the energies have shifted. You know, readings every week, I don't think you should read every week. You have to give the energies time to really sink in and learn that soul lesson and really let those energies kind of shift. In a month minimum, I would say 2 to 3 months you should have a reading. Yeah.
So 1 to 2 months is good because, you know, you kind of go a little deeper, I think, than the average.
Yeah, I just don't tell you if your boyfriend likes you or doesn't like you, you know. I'll go into any kind of warning signs and, you know, how they feel and think and the outcome, but, you know, what is it within you that needs to change? You know, is it going to empower you to stay, to fight, or to leave and really stand in your power?
Okay, so wait a minute. So what you're saying is your type of focus is that you're presenting and bringing the person to their choices, because we had this conversation about the future's always changing and don't project onto the cards. Let's talk about that, because I thought that was really very positive and very helpful and also very insightful.
Yes.
Go ahead and talk about that for a minute or two.
So when you're listening to a reading, you know, it's what I call wishful thinking that really overtakes you. You know, if for love, for instance, you're listening to your reading and it says someone from your past is going to be returning, they're a Cancer, and it makes you happy. You know, well, it could really be your cousin who you haven't seen in 10 years is a Cancer, and they come back and it makes you happy because they're getting married. You know, it's not, tarot's always correct, but it's not always what you want it to be. And that's especially why you should not read for yourself. You have to really be objective. You have to look at it. Tarot's not going to tell you what you want to hear. Spirit has their own plans for you. And
let's talk about that a little more. Let's talk about higher power, higher spirit, and, you know, making your choices. Now, I'm going to divulge a little thing about me on camera. You know who you are. I'm kind of smitten by this Leo.
I know.
I'm kind of smitten by Leo. But in the reading, the Leo is now coming back a 3rd time. So what happens if I just say, you know what, I'm done with the Leo? Like, what if I just say to the universe, you know what, I love the Leo, but, you know, it's not going to happen in this life. What do I do then? Do I come back to you
Yeah, so that's where the energies shift and change, because in my reading for you, I did say, you know, he is going to come back, and you have a soulmate waiting for you. But
wait, beyond the Leo.
Beyond the Leo.
See, so this is
all
why
I heard in the reading was, oh, the Leo's coming back. You know, see what happens.
Okay, wait.
They don't get past, you know, there is someone waiting for you, but you have to learn this soul lesson because it's something deeper inside of you.
Oh, wait, no, this is so important. Before I can get to the soulmate, I kind of have to go through the Leo, and that's what you saw, and it was very strong, right?
Yes.
See, this is why you're so good, because you see...
Thank you.
Seriously, you're like seeing, this is why you're on my show, is because you see a whole perspective and you give total advisement. So this is true because I saw it right on the table in front of me, and I've been reading the cards, and I was impressed by this. So
thank you.
Keep going. So what you saw.
Yeah, so, you know, what I saw was, I mean, you have to learn to let go of the person that's not healthy or not good for you.
This is very good. Keep going like this is good.
Yeah, and, you know, and when I do love readings, especially, you know, people don't want to hear, you know, bad news. They don't want to hear, oh, well, he's not meant for you, or he's cheating, or, you know, whatever. Or you are going to get together, but you're not supposed to be with him.
So how do you get around multiple court cards? How do you get around, okay, this person's got the King of Cups, the King of Swords, the Page of Swords. How do you, are you good with like that type of stuff? Because you do specialize or kind of primarily focus on love and romance. Even though you are a spiritual advisor, you do have a greater perspective on soul lessons and stuff. But kind of, you did say...
Yeah, most people, you know, their love life really is like gut-wrenching. And it's super important to them. Of course, it's important
and so it feels more natural to you to be...
Well, when I read, if someone just says, read my cards, I read whatever's in your heart. So, you know, when I laid those cards down for you the other day, that was on your heart, you know, that's the message that came out. So, you know, that's what I read, and usually it's love. But when there's a lot of court cards that come out, I mean, they're always people, you know. Yes, they could be energies, like the King of Cups is like a very loving, you know, energy. But most of the time, how Spirit talks to me, I know my relationship with Spirit very well. It's people, you know, and I'm never wrong. Like, I'm just not wrong. Like, I hate to say that, but I'm not. Like, my clients, they email me, they call me and say everything that you said was going to happen to the T. And I did meet an Aries or a Leo or, you know, a Virgo. And court cards are people. Now, in a general reading, it's very, you know, it can be energies or people, gender specific.
How long? Okay, wait. Do you do phone? You do Skype? You do email? What is your? What do you offer for your clients?
Yeah, I mean, generally it's just a video recorded reading,
and then you send them that video.
Email it to them. Yeah. But we can do phone and Skype by request right now, just because I've got so many clients and my schedule is so packed. So that's really by request only, and only really for like returning clients. So to start out with, we always do a video.
How many clients or readings a week in 7 days do you?
Well, I usually do about 5 to 6 a day, which is 8 hours of work. You know, it's 45 minutes per reading. It's very in-depth. There's an hour in between of clearing the energies. You
got to clear the energy.
Yeah,
so you're saging like we discussed.
Yep,
and
saging. And I just bought my couple of new crystals today, which is pretty cool. So,
do you ever switch decks for clients, or do you kind of like have a hot deck? I have a daily deck. It's called the Albano. I don't know if you know about it. It's really brightly colored. It's like psychedelic. It was made in the 70s, and it's like kind of hippie-ish colors. I've had it on here. I love it. It's bright. That's my daily. Do you have like a favorite?
Yeah, like my Thelema is like my favorite. I'm just so connected to it. When I shuffle, you know, cards, just Spirit flies them out. I get so many crazy messages. I'm very in tune with the Gilded as well. Those are my two favorite decks. And, you know, I somehow try to incorporate all the decks. And like I was saying with my blindside spread, I use 3 decks in that reading so I can see if multiple cards pop out. They all have slightly different meanings and the placements. So it's interesting to see the Magician come out in one area and then in the deck. Oh my gosh, yesterday I did a reading for some guy, one of my clients, not some guy, but he had the Tower 3 times in all 3 decks. and it was serious. It was serious. I did another reading actually the same day, and he had the devil all 3 times in all 3 decks.
But that could also be a Capricorn. I mean, give me multiple meanings.
Okay, so when the devil
for,
pops out,
say, devil.
yeah,
Because for me, that card is one of the most multifaceted, multi-layered, multi-symbolic, and I myself don't read it as the Christian devil. Now,
No,
you got to
it's not
understand.
supposed to be
Wait a
the
minute.
devil.
Wait, let me
Yeah.
say something, okay? They don't know when the tarot cards really came about, but basically agreed upon 1400s.
yeah, like 1465, I think. Was
So
somewhere around
this
there.
is a lot of residue. So these are multi-compounded residual images.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
so
Yeah, the devil doesn't mean the devil. You know, the death card doesn't mean literal death. Although I have a story about that I'm going to tell you. But
because we talked about that transformation, at least in, you know, the basic standard rider weights that I use and that I kind of deal with is, you know, there's a person dying, there's a white rose.
well, the death card, I'll tell you real quick about the death card. So it's supposed to mean a transformation,
Yes.
a beginning and an end, an ending and a beginning. And I've connected personally with that card on many levels. And now it's very interesting how Spirit speaks to me. The first time I connected with it, I was so angry one day, and I pulled my cards, and the death card was the first card to pop out. And then the moon, you know, and who I was dealing with was a Pisces at the time. And 5 hours later that night, this person died. And, you know, in my house, and you know, I did CPR and, you know, saved him, and he came back to life. And
so that was literally,
literal
you
death.
pulled the death card, and see, this is scares people though, okay? Because they're like, I don't want to know. A lot of people are like, I don't want to know, I don't want to know.
But that's the soul lesson. He didn't die, but what happened was me and him we just did not like each other. We didn't get along. But the death card is also a transformation. Our relationship totally transformed. So in that case,
But this guy had a near-death experience in your house with you. So that was really your reading and just as much your transformation.
it was my reading. Yeah, I had done
Okay.
my own reading that day, which I never do, which is weird that I pulled my cards. And, you know, our relationship transformed. So that is where the death card comes in. But, you know, don't be afraid if the Tower comes out in your reading, if the death card comes out in your reading, because like I said, you need to be prepared for this because it's all for your higher good. You know, Spirit's not going to bring in the death card to transform you into ash. You know, they're going to transform you into light and love and someone who you need to be. You know, most of the time, the messages that I deliver, the messages people don't want to hear are the messages they need to hear. And they know that inside.
Okay, well, listen, let me say something. Okay, the higher arcana starting with the 0.
The Fool.
And going all the way up to the world.
The worlds.
Which would symbolize you go from innocence to enlightenment, the journey
It's
of
a
the fool.
complete cycle. Yep.
I'm sorry I didn't shut my phone off.
Fine.
Please forgive me. Higher arcana. Okay, everybody has really the same journey, in my opinion. The people, places, and things are different, but that higher arcana from the Fool to the Enlightenment, you keep going until you get like more enlightened, more enlightened, more enlightened.
So many cycles.
Okay,
Absolutely.
exactly. Let's talk about that, because after you've read for so many people, it really kind of like it gets very like, oh, this is this. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You draw that.
I can see it from a mile away, but
Exactly.
And what's interesting is when I have readings where the world comes first and then the Fool, and it's telling me you're hanging on to a cycle that should have already ended. You have a new cycle to begin.
Yeah, let's talk about that. What card would you say in the Higher Arcana is the most misunderstood? What's the most difficult to read? And then what is like kind of clear as day? Give us examples of that.
Oh man, I would say maybe the Wheel of Fortune and the World are the two hardest.
Most multifaceted.
Yeah.
You really got to look at the other cards to see what's really going on.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
I mean, the Wheel of Fortune is monumental change, right? It's the wheel changing, but are we controlling that change? Are we stagnating that change? Is it something that wants to push us forward? The world, is it someone who's far away from us, or is it a completion? Is it feeling complete? You know, you have to really be in tune to yourself, and a lot of people, like I said, the wishful thinking, you know, they want to think, oh, change is coming my way, but it's not, because you're doing something to stop it. So I think that those are
all right, well, then let's talk about the hangman in there, okay? So, because when my clients come to me and they get stuck, I tell them, look, I even hold the card up, because most of my readings
nothing's happening,
are
it's stuck.
Yep, I'm like, look, this is built right in.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, stuck.
So don't panic, first of all, is what I tell them.
Yeah.
Don't panic.
Like, well,
but it's going to happen.
Exactly. You're not seeing any movement right now. It is going to happen. And with the hangman, it's like, you know how many muscles it takes to, like, literally hang there from a tree by your foot? It takes every muscle in your body. You have to be strong to do that. Strong to hang in there. You know, literally hanging in there. Anyway, get it? The hangman.
I got it. Hang in there. Shakti in the Namaste.
I got the worst sense of humor.
Let me see. We got about 7 minutes left. Okay.
Yes.
What's the hardest thing to talk about with a client? Or do you get reoccurring clients where they're just like, you're not listening to me, you're not hearing this, you're not, you know, and they keep coming back? I mean, have you had, so let me say it another way. I'm going to have patience. Let me say it another way, okay? Look at this card.
I have a couple clients like that. Most of them embrace the messages and I see them transform, but I have a couple clients who want a reading every week on the same thing, and I'm like, you know,
it hasn't changed yet.
Yeah, the message isn't going to change, you know? It's just going to keep telling you, and eventually they're just going to get mad at you and nothing's going to happen.
Do you ever hold the cards up to the camera or something and say,
yeah,
look at this thing?
Oh, yeah. People,
look at this flower. Look at this animal. Look at this
I get very passionate in my readings, and people like that, you know? They're like, you're so passionate about it. Sometimes I don't yell at them, but I'm like, look, this change is coming for you. You know, hang in there. Or this person's not good for you. You need to really stand in your power. And that's really what my readings are all about. And that's what I think tarot is about.
Well, you know what I noticed in your reading too? You're very passionate. The way you like discuss, and you seem like so enthused. Like, I mean, I'm not really used to discussing my love life with anybody, you know? I read my own cards on occasion. I mean, I do 2 daily spreads just to keep me fresh. Not really. Yeah, I do 2 daily spreads for myself to study, to look. Yeah. You know, I've been looking at some of these major arcanas, and I still see new things.
Yes.
And, you know, I've got a whole library of books like, oh, this means this and this means that. And so I just ponder. I use them from prayer, meditation, contemplation, affirmation. Let me ask you this. This just came to my mind. Do you ever give your clients like kind of like a homework to be like, or do you just advise, look, you need to do this, or do you suggest things maybe,
I mean,
you know, for their...
I don't really tell them what to do, because it's, first of all, it's their choice to make that choice or not. Second of all, how they do it is their business. It's spirit in their business. But, you know, I tell them this is what has to be done. And you're not going to move forward and find this until you get over this. And that doesn't happen overnight. You know, it takes sometimes months. And I'll tell them, this is going to take over a year. This process will take a couple months.
So you do kind of get timelines.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, there's...
Because not everybody does.
Well, it's with me and how spirit works, it's kind of like, you know, swords are weeks. Pentacles are years.
Oh, yeah, you said this. Wait, go with seasons, too. What are...
Yeah, swords is like, oh my gosh. No, Pentacles is winter. I don't know.
Wands is autumn. You want to talk about that?
Wands is days. It's summer. I don't do seasons. I don't really.
You don't do seasons? Wands, each suit can be... the swords are people with black hair. The wands are usually redhead. It represents fire, sexuality, creativity.
I don't look at red hair and black hair.
You don't do that? No. With the if the person asks, I do that. I do, because each suit is many characteristics, and the suits are also
So the
seasons.
Leo that you're dating has red hair?
That would be a higher arcana.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that would be a higher arcana. The Leo, we're not going to talk about. Don't say the Leo's name. He knows who he is. He's a Leo.
I don't even know Leo's
He's
name.
a Leo. Do you know?
wait,
you
I do
know
know
what a
his name.
Leo is. You know how Leo's.
So, but my point is, no, I don't go by like, well,
How
blonde
did
hair,
this
blue
happen?
eyes.
Yeah, no, that's
I don't
really
do
true.
that.
Okay,
No, I
I'm
don't
just
do
telling you, in the suits, at
No,
least in
that's
the
in the Rider-Waite.
in the
They are the
Rider-Waite.
scribes, blonde hair, blue eyes, or black hair, tall, dark
as
tan.
a general, this is a general thing.
Yeah.
If the client asks, how am I going to recognize this person?
Well, yeah, I mean that's true. I mean, I would
We have
just
3 minutes left, sweetie.
3 minutes left,
yeah,
okay.
I told
All
you it
right.
was going to go fast.
It is. It is.
Uh,
Went by. Oh my gosh.
It went by. You know what? We're
that
gonna not be
crazy.
live in 2 minutes, and then after we go off camera, I'm gonna off camera. At least I want to show your YouTube.
Yes, my YouTube.
So, what do you want to say in closing? You got a minute to close it out for our live audience.
Oh man, in
Look
closing.
right at there. There you go. Tell them exactly. Tell them why. Why are we coming to Jen's Tarot?
Yeah, I mean, it's really
Best way to book and find you and book an appointment.
YouTube, I guess, is really the only way.
They find you mostly through YouTube?
I would say so. YouTube or my Facebook at Jen's Tarot. But just look up YouTube at Jen's Tarot and
JENS. But email. You want to throw out an email for us?
yes, JensTarot at yahoo.com. Everything is Jen's Tarot. A website is going to be coming up. I'm going to be actually putting out video blogs about how I got started, my awakening.
Wow, I completely forgot.
I know.
Your free YouTube. What did you say, bi-weekly, bi-monthly?
Yeah, so
What?
both.
Tell them, because this is how I found you.
Yeah, that's
I
why I'm
went to
saying YouTube.
Gemini. I went to Gemini and I was like,
He wanted.
she gives the readings and you can't see her.
Yeah.
And I just heard your voice and I was like,
I started doing face-to-face in July, though, mid-July. I was like in high demand to see my face.
I heard your voice and I
Yeah.
was like, and you were really passionate about
Yeah, thank you.
the Gemini, and I was like, I'm getting a hold of her. I don't know who
Yeah.
this is. I'm getting, didn't I? And I sent you a thing, and I left you a comment, and I was like, you're coming on my show.
Oh, I know. You were awesome. You were great. And I was like, dude, I'm down. So, YouTube, I have free monthly generals for every sign. Check your rising and moon sign out. If you don't know what that is, I have it explained.
So in
the chart.
addition to all these readings for your clients all over the world, sending out videos to them, you're also... We got 20 seconds left. 20 seconds left. You're also doing all this free stuff for each sign. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so if you're watching this on
2
my
readings a month.
YouTube or her YouTube or somewhere in cyberspace, go to Jen's Tarot on YouTube and watch the
Monthly and bi-monthly.
and bi-monthly for your sign, and then you'll get a free reading anyways, right?
Yeah, it's a free reading.
Shakti. Okay, Jen, we're actually going off the air, and we're now off the air, so wrap it up in 20 seconds. What do you want to... And then we're going to show your website, and then we got to get out of here.
Okay. Yeah, I think we covered a lot, but... thank you for having me on the show, and
Very welcome. My pleasure.
thank you. I am going to be doing video blogs that are more in depth about all kinds of topics, and it was just really nice to kind of meet everyone and be introduced to the world, and absolutely contact me for a reading. I love my clients. I love what I do, and I think even you said that this lifetime is an atonement for me for my past lives, to help others and just help empower you and just give you the wisdom that you need, and
Okay,
direct
we're
you.
going to find out what Jen did in all her other lifetimes in interview 2, okay, the next time she comes back.
I don't think I want to know what I did
So,
in my past lifetimes.
Jen's been trying to get me to be like, what are my past lives? And I'm like,
We're gonna have a past life
you better
session.
tune in next interview for the past lives and what Jen is atoning for, and obviously I'm atoning for something. And okay, let me just, before we hit the button, we're still live, so hang on a second. Let me see if I can get your throw up here on the live screen.
Yeah,
for
check out my
people
YouTube.
watching. Okay, hang on one second. No, I don't. Okay, videos, JensTarot. Okay.
This is my channel ad, so I made this channel ad to show the style and flavor of JensTarot.
I don't know how I can get it. Maybe I won't be able to get it. I'm going to try, though. Okay. Oh, my God, I got it. Okay.
Yay!
Here we go. Okay, so here's Jens. And hang on a second. So this is on your screen, so you'll know to recognize it. And there it is. You want to say anything else? We gotta get out of here.
Yeah, no, I love you all. Thank you so much for all your love and support.
Okay.
You guys are amazing.
Shakti and Namaste, and we're coming back to us. And then we're gonna do a closeout. Camera 1. Okay, Jen.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Kirk.
Give the love, give the Shakti, give the light with me. Shakti Namaste. Thank you, and we will see you next time in the Cyber Temple of Love. And check out Jen, and definitely. Totally, if she's not totally booked up in like a couple months in advance.
Thank you, Kirk.
You got the word, so thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next week.
Love you guys.
Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Shut.